Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
And welcome in to a Too Stupid Thursday edition of the Morning Rush, where we've got 3 or 4 stories I want to tell you about, including one here in Arkansas where a woman didn't know she was pregnant and gave birth in a golden corral. And they named her kid Corral. Yeah. I'm not kidding.
How do you not know you're pregnant?
I'm not kidding. I will tell you about it in just a bit. We've also...
I know some guys that have given birth at Golden Corral, but it was a whole different subject. It didn't have anything to do with the baby.
They opened up their belt loop, and I think the best, the
opened up
iconic
stall too.
Yeah, the iconic thing is like with Al Bundy, and anytime he ate too much, he'd always take off his belt and his pants, put his hand in his pants, and just relax. While again, I don't know how that's humanly possible. I've never been pregnant. Don't plan on being pregnant. I don't think it's physiologically possible for me to be, even though some will tell you otherwise. But apparently this woman didn't know.
I'm wondering if you're... What does the studio smell like right now, Big C?
Peanut butter.
I thought I'd walked into Brahms. Smell like peanut butter cup ice cream. It's exactly like... Who's got a jar of peanut butter open in the studio? I'm looking around. I don't see it. And I ask openly, does it smell like peanut butter in here? And Ty kind of sheepishly looks at, oh, that's my coffee. That's my coffee. You're drinking peanut butter cup coffee?
It was on the coffee shelf. I grabbed it, put it in the Keurig. New Keurig in the office, by the way. The old one wouldn't make a full cup of coffee, so we elected to get a new one, I guess. It's a pretty nice.
Who
one.
elected?
I think our office
I
manager.
saw Betty carrying out the old
You're
one.
welcome.
I mean, the old one was broken. I would
What
hope
broken till you started using it? I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, new Keurig. So now you're drinking peanut butter cup coffee, like a man, like your grandfather did. Peanut butter cup coffee.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually just drink it black, but I saw the peanut butter cup one, and I was like, all right, I'll roll with this morning.
Oh,
And
where's Clay when I need him? So,
I mean, I know I'm not. Here's my thing. I don't have to be concerned with my manhood based on what I drink, because I know I have.
Nor should you be.
A certain thing. I realize that you feel like you have to drink certain things to reflect your
I don't
manhood.
even drink coffee. I don't need to drink anything to reflect manhood. But I don't. If I drank coffee, it wouldn't be peanut butter cup coffee.
It's not consistent, but every once in a while you switch it up. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Evidently, it is, but.
Well,
it does the aroma. The aroma smells.
It is good. It makes me want to go to Brahms and get an ice cream cone right now. That's the problem with it, because it does smell like. I don't know if you've had their peanut butter cup ice cream.
It's not that. It's not that great, honestly. Coffee's not good, despite what people tell you.
You drink it every day, so you must think it's good.
I don't, but you see what my face does. It doesn't.
Then why do you do it?
Because I'm here at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
To wake myself up.
But you don't drink it till 6.
Yeah, but for the show, I would like to have energy, have focus, and stay intense, and I feel like coffee gives me an edge. That's pretty normal for a lot of people.
Yeah. My mom thinks that, if you don't have your coffee in the morning, it would be justifiable homicide. If hey, you killed this person. Well, I had to have my coffee yet. Innocent.
Innocent.
Maybe that's what that guy that's going around is doing.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, you enjoy your coffee. I'm going to tell everybody about the Rebel Crick Hopper. It's summertime in Arkansas, and that means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crick Hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, swim it. Think you can do all those things? I don't know. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crick Hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rod and reel and 4 or 6 pound line. You're going to love your time with the Rebel Crick Hopper. It's at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Rebel Crick Hopper.
All right, so I want to share this story with you about the Golden Corral woman by the name of Tavia Woodfork. And apparently it's a North Little Rock location. It's perfect for our Too Stupid Thursday.
This is Too Stupid Thursday on the Morning Rush.
He's stupid. Go crazy. Stupid.
Alrighty. So, again, she did not know she was pregnant. Gave birth to a healthy, keyword is healthy, baby boy back at the beginning of May. She apparently had to go to the restroom, and her mom went to check on her and for about 10 minutes and found her in the restroom. She was crying. Didn't know she was 37 weeks pregnant.
I'm calling BS.
And in active labor.
How old
This
was
one
she?
of the 26.
No, I'm not buying any of this. There's more to this story. I'm not buying a bit of it. As a father of 3, I would find it highly unlikely that someone at 26 years of age, was this her first child, by the way? I would like to know that information.
Don't
I
know
think
if
there's
that's-
more to this story.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's also the mother to a 2-year-old.
Yeah, there's nope, not buying it.
Okay.
She knew.
She said
she didn't want her family to know. She didn't want somebody to know. She was concealing it.
She didn't. She said she didn't experience any of the pregnancy signs, such as weight gain, feeling fetal movement, and
Is that
other
even
stuff.
possible?
Nonsense.
So
Nonsense.
Is that
Morning
possible?
sickness. Unusual bitchiness. Nothing. I'm not buying any of that.
Tamar Kylan Corral
No.
Woodfork.
Corral
Yeah.
is in the name.
I told you
Fitting.
that. Yeah, I told
Fitting.
you that. We talked about that already. That's
Okay,
what you
I don't
laughed
listen to every word you say.
at. You literally laughed at it 3 minutes ago.
Corral is in the name. I didn't realize that was the part of the name. I'm not buying any of this. I've been through this 3 times.
So
No, not buying it. She was hiding that pregnancy.
the winner of this is Golden Corral, right?
Well,
they got
maybe.
a kid named after the restaurant, and they got all this free publicity in the Central Arkansas and really nationwide for not only someone having a baby in their restaurant, but also getting their
Tell me
their
again
name.
where this happened at.
North Little Rock.
Wow.
So it's in our state. And apparently, again, she did not know she was pregnant. When I read this story initially, Tommy, I kind of thought like you did, especially since she has had a kid before. Now, again,
I've
I
seen
think
this a time or two, but generally not at 26. Generally, it's when someone was 18, 19 years old,
Yeah.
got pregnant, didn't want mom and dad to find out, wore baggy clothes, concealed it, and then in the end, when the baby comes, I didn't know I was pregnant. It's not often, but I've known of this a time or two.
I got to be honest, man. I've never seen a story like this where a woman, now maybe again, you being your age and having a few more friends and people you know that have gotten pregnant. I've never been in a situation where any of my friends have lied or about any of that. It was pretty like I was the first one to find out, one of my friends, that they did get pregnant, and they like told us, and we were shocked. But this is, I tend to agree with you. It sounds like someone that didn't want her family or
Somebody
friends to know.
was hiding something.
But how do you conceal that? Like there's a,
Yeah.
Baggy clothes, you wear a sweatshirt when it doesn't make sense, But not at 20. That's why I say at 26.
26.
That's the part that doesn't fit. There's more to this story, but I'm glad everybody's healthy and happy.
Do some digging. That is the key.
And-
It's a healthy
and
young
hey,
boy.
Kids under 3 eat free. So, you got that going for you
Again,
now, too.
Tamar Kylan Corral Woodfork.
Oh, there you go.
Corral. And
Kids eat free. So, awesome. Speaking of eating, it's Throwback Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Stop in. They're going to have one of the great Kuko's platters that they'll have on their Facebook page a little later this morning. You can see the picture of it. You can enjoy that. Tomorrow is Fajita Friday. They'll have a special price on all the fajitas. If you haven't tried their brisket fajitas, just take old Uncle Tommy's advice. Order the brisket fajitas at Joe's. Saturday is Ty's Day. Endless enchiladas. All the enchiladas, few sides to go with that, $15 at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps. Great Tex-Mex, better service. Joe's Grill and Cantina.
Chuck Barrett joins us in 20 minutes. A lot to discuss on a Too Stupid Thursday.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorbacks!
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
What's on your to-do list today? Does it include looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? If so, come by and see us at Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need to complete, Wacker Newson Equipment is up to the task, and Sharp Equipment is here to help. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844. Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out. USA Fireworks is a leading firework wholesaler in Arkansas with over 35 years of experience, located in Mulberry, right off 64. They offer an impressive selection of top-of-the-line products from the best brands like World Class, Brothers, Winda, Raccoon, Cutting Edge, and Black Cat, ensuring a spectacular display for every occasion. Whether it's a big city event or just a family gathering, USA Fireworks is dedicated to delivering the best show at the best value. If you're interested in buying a wholesale fireworks show, visit our website, usafireworks.org.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I can't sleep. There's about 5 Tigers and Bears, but they but one Razorback. Number 1. It's a foot race. Jerry Franklin will take it to the end zone. 15-yard fumble return for a touchdown.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
So the College World Series finals are set for this weekend as the Tennessee Volunteers will take on the Texas A&M Aggies. I don't know who you cheer for. What do you always say, Tommy? A sinkhole? You cheer for a sinkhole to happen?
How do you start a flood? Yeah.
In the stadium.
I don't want to say tornado because that might actually happen in Omaha, so I don't want to wish that. But, yeah, I mean, LSU might be the only thing worse. I mean, to me, it's easy. You root for Tennessee. I mean, that's an easy one for me.
See, I hate that I'm saying this, but I'm actually going for Texas A&M to win this College World Series.
I don't even know how that's genetically possible.
Well, I think so. And again, I think you know my hatred for the school in College Station, even more prevalent than the one in Austin, Texas, to be honest. But I think for me, it would keep up the SEC West streak, which I know it ends this July when Texas and Oklahoma enter the league. And I don't think Arkansas fans can come to grips with the Dave Van Horn assistant getting the national championship before him. I think that pain is a little bit more. It's a little closer to the heart.
I think you're overstating that a little bit.
Well,
I don't hear a lot of people talking about that.
I think it hurts a lot of people that the fact that Tony's on the brink of winning before Dave does.
I was thinking
true
that way.
you talk to a true Arkansas baseball fan, and the ones I've talked to, and it's a variety of age. There's like, man, I do not want him to win.
I'm not saying people don't feel that way, but I don't think anyone's dying on that hill. Is it a thought? Yes. Is it, is that what's overwhelming your day? Probably not. I just think from a regionality standpoint, where you're competing a little more for athletes moving forward, I would much rather have Tennessee win. I just think that the overlap and the cross, and I know Arkansas and Tennessee is growing this direction. They recruit nationally, but I don't think it helps you in Texas to have A&M have anything to brag about. So I think from a Razorback standpoint, you're wiser to not let anything good get started in College Station. So
I think that the recruiting angle that you come from is well made, considering you think about the kids on your roster right now. Most notable, Hayden Smith, Bullard, Texas. By the way, Hagan won the forgetting which Pitcher of the Year award that he just won, the one out of Lubbock, Texas. But that does make sense to me. But I think Arkansas's baseball is kind of surpassing just regionality, and I think they recruit more nationally. And I also think about the timeline post Dave. If Tony wins a national championship or two in Tennessee, he's probably not going to go to Arkansas. Yeah. So you think about that as well.
All right, money line is out for the championship series Saturday night, 6:30 is when it begins. Tennessee tie right now is minus 150, and they're the 1 seed. A&M, the 3 seed, is plus 120. So that's the only wagers up at this point at Bet Saracen. You can go to the Bet Saracen app, download that. College baseball's there, everything else you want. But who you like? Well, you already said who you like. You're betting with your heart, not necessarily your head. So you're taking A&M plus 120.
I would say, Tommy, that I'm hoping A&M wins, but I ultimately think Tennessee's going to break that curse and be the first number 1 seed since '99 in Miami.
And I think this is just a game 1 bet. The numbers I'm looking at are not to win the series. This is just for game 1 on Saturday. So get the Bet Saracen app. They'll have more wagers and more player props as probably today unfolds. The Bet Saracen app available in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store.
Text from Dalen in Hot Springs saying pulling for A&M hurts worse than Tennessee winning. He texted that in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. He says, let's go Vols. Matt saying the DVH stuff is very similar to Jack Leggett at Clemson. He went on to 6 College World Series but never won it. 2 of his former assistants, Kevin O'Sullivan and Tim Corbin, both at Florida and Vanderbilt, were able to win. Mongo in Huntsville saying, maybe for the first time ever, I agree with Ty. Just don't want Tennessee's coach to win it before Dave. I think it's because it's college baseball. It's just not a lot of our fans. And there are diehard baseball fans that listen to the program, and even less of that for college baseball. But a lot of, I think our audience is just kind of, what's the score? Or what's the final, basically? They're not going to watch it this weekend.
So what do you think? Who are you pulling for? Text us on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniels in Springdale and Bentonville. A good deal is never too far away. They're always online at McLartyDaniel.com.
Staying on the subject of baseball, while I'm not necessarily just going to be glued into my television Saturday through Monday, potentially watching the College World Series. I have been really intrigued by Paul Skenes, the rookie who has been outstanding for the Pittsburgh Pirates for now, as Phil likes to say. I don't know how long he is going to end up being a Pirate, but I mean, he has another outstanding performance the other night. Pitches 6 innings, only gives up 6 hits and 1 run, 69 strikes on 96 pitches. Guy has a 2.29 ERA, and he's 22 years old. I think he could technically qualify for the All-Star game. The Diamondbacks manager is the one that's managing the National League team. I think he's there are certain rules that he can't qualify for, like pitcher of the year and stuff like that. But you've got this like just outstanding rookie. I know he's an LSU Tiger. I know they just won a national championship a year ago, but he's really with it being such a dry period in sports right now for all of us basically till 70 days when Arkansas football resumes. I guess you've got a major league to tide you over until then. He's really one of the most captivating stories right now. It's his immediate success entering from the minors.
Is it the velocity? Is it the quick rise to the big leagues? What is it that's making it must-see TV? Is it the vast majority of his pitches not just being at 100, but 102, 103? Yeah. I guess it's just the accuracy and the velocity that is, I don't know, mesmerizing, maybe overstating it, but it's become the story in baseball, and it's become, for the first time in a while, appointment TV in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I think it's the velocity you mentioned. Like, I watched him strike out Shohei Ohtani the other night, and he pitched, I think it was 102, 101, and then 103. It was like 3 straight fastballs or right around that. And I was just kind of like, this is one of the more talented players in baseball, and he went right at him. I think there's a respect level from the pitcher side of the baseball fan where if you go toe-to-toe with an opposing batter that's really, really good like Shohei and the other guys that he's faced, and you don't back down, it's like, man, this dude has some you-know-whats.
Does his girlfriend help the situation?
Yes,
as well?
Libby absolutely does.
I mean, bringing in, she's got a big following and a big fan base. I'm not going to say it's Taylor and Travis level, but, you know, there's a little bit of that feel that, hey, 1 + 1's equaling more than 2 here.
Yeah, I think.
Or am I wrong about that?
Miss Dunn definitely helps the situation.
Okay, so she's bringing a little audience for her boyfriend.
You've got a good number of Livy Dunn fans that are all of a sudden now Paul Skenes fans, just because of that relationship. Similar, as you brought up, it's a good comparison, like Taylor and Travis.
Not on the same level.
No, not near.
Even close.
Not near, but that is a good smaller comparison.
0% financing, bonus discounts, huge cashback savings, even free add-ons right now at WT Equipment. There's a location near you. The one I always roll by is in Springdale between Don Tyson and the Johnson exit. You take 48th Street, you'll run right into their entrance there. If you're looking for a new tractor right now, New Holland has the best. They have roll belt, round bell balers right now that you can make a part of your operation. They've got, if you need a new compact tractor, for your ever-growing list of chores, they've got those right now. And again, big savings you can find with 0% financing, bonus discounts, and huge cash back. WT Equipment, find them online in a location near you at WTEquip.com.
We'll talk to Chuck on the other side.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Arkansas quarterback Tyler Wilson, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Hey, this is Landon Jackson, and you're listening to ESPN Arkansas.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
One of two things would have happened if the average guy, myself included, had been hitting that shot. Either one, it wouldn't have made it out of the bunker, or I'd have hit it thin and it had gone over the clubhouse. One of those two things would have happened. For him to hit that shot in the manner in which he did, leave it below the hole, that was a perfect bunker shot in a world where perfect is overused.
Maybe both would have happened. Chuck, I think you maybe could have chunked your first one and then your second one out of the bunker and accomplished both of those
It's
feats.
entirely possible. It's entirely possible.
I think how would I have handled that? Well, exactly. I'd have left the first in the bunker, then I'd have scattered the crowd behind the green.
Well, and you might be leaving a couple of shots out there if you want to know the truth. But, yeah, it would probably be similar to that.
And
there would be people scattering, that's for sure.
And somewhere in between, I broke the rake over my knee. I'm not sure. So,
You guys ever broken a club? I watched someone do it. I watched someone snap his, I think it was his 3-wood.
I haven't ever done that. I can't afford to go out and buy new clubs,
They're
man.
expensive, man. They are expensive.
When you had steel shafts that didn't cost a lot, you could whirlybird one a little freer. Now, when a club has just the shafts $350, in the shaft. You conserve and reserve your anger for something else.
Yeah,
so
keep care of it. So that was again in reference to Bryson DeChambeau's sand shot on Sunday. Not much golf to necessarily discuss now. We might come back to his comments about the Olympics, but do have some late Cal discussion. Cal was on 2 national radio shows yesterday, and we'll get into some of that with Chuck, as well as rehash a few other things that have gone down this week.
Boys, we're not far away from July the 4th. If you hadn't bought your fireworks yet, or you're starting to see the tents go up and you're figuring out, where do I want to go? USA Fireworks is the place. The Brewers have the spot. They got locations everywhere. And Ty, we're giving away a $2,000 firework bundle. If you just go to hitthatline.com, you can be entered to win this awesome fireworks prize package.
Yeah, I sent Chris the picture yesterday. We've already had over 5,500 entries. So thank you all for getting a chance to possibly win. Again, that $2,000, you can sign up for wholesale questions and get a chance to buy fireworks wholesale, which is basically half the cost at usafireworks.org. And again, if you want to enter our banging giveaway, the second one we've ever done, just go to hitthatline.com/usafireworks, like Tommy was saying. Well, Chuck, I listened to Cal, and I listened to him on both Dan Patrick and Jim Rome. There wasn't a ton that was different about some of a lot of the stuff was similar to what he said. I did find something interesting, and he said this on both shows. He talked about the players being in college, certain players being in college for too long. I thought it was an interesting discussion. Take a listen.
5 years to play 4, which is the way it was when you played back in the 40s.
Yeah.
I mean, you had 5 years to play 4. If you got injured, you got an extra year. If you got redshirted, you got an extra year. What if you got hurt 3 different years? Buzzard luck, my man. I don't know what to tell you. This is amateur basketball. Right now, they just cleared the NCAA a player to play football for his 9th year. So I'm playing in a game last year where the guy making the shots is 26 years old. Should have been out of school 3 years, maybe 4. So let's get back. We can do that now. They said, well, COVID and all. Stop. You're giving waivers to everybody. 5 years to play 4 solves 60-70% of our problems.
You know what would have solved a problem?
And so they go on for a little bit longer, but I did find that interesting. Chuck, I know you've sent me an article or two of like a college football player being like 27 or 28 years old. And I get there's like the Brandon Whedon anomaly every once in a while where a kid goes play minor league ball, or Monte Harrison here at Arkansas is probably the example that hits close to home. But it seems like that was really what Cal was petitioning yesterday, if anything, on both those shows.
Well, he's right. I mean, he's certainly right. The tough part in that, though, now, Ty, is the guys are getting paid. And so when you kick them out of school, basically you're firing them. You know, they're getting NIL money. They're making more money now than they're going to make out in the real world. And I suspect that part of this is the fact that you're jerking the rug out from under some of these kids. And you know, you can't talk out of one side of your mouth and talk about opportunity without going above and beyond to give them that opportunity. So it's a double-edged sword. I agree with everything Cal said. I think it does solve the problem. But unfortunately, you know, amateur athletics is that's a gray term now. I mean, it is a gray term. So I'm not sure what the solution's going to be on that. I don't think we're going to go back to the days of strict adherence to 5 to play 4. Yeah. I don't think we're going to go back to that. And I think that's one of the casualties of the COVID era that'll never go away.
And I don't think Cal's just speaking his own mind. I think that's how he feels, and he's convicted. But I think he's speaking for a lot of the colleagues, Chuck, he's spoken to. I think they know he's a mouthpiece that everybody listens to. So I don't think this is just solely his opinion by any stretch. I think I don't know if I can go as far as say the majority, because that'd be hard for me to have a feel for, but I think he's speaking for a lot of the coaches when he says those words yesterday.
Oh, I'm sure that's true, but I wouldn't read too much into this. This was an exchange on a show, and I don't think there's going to be, Cal said this, we gotta change the rules.
No.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I just think his words carry more volume or weight with.
Well, yes, but I agree they carry more volume or weight, but in this case, I don't think that volume or weight's going to change anything, respectfully.
You mentioned something specific there, the kids wanting to stay because they're getting paid, and I think about, like, if I had a choice to go back to senior year right now, I'd probably heavily consider it, because for a lot of these, hopefully for a lot of these young men and women, it won't be the best time of their lives, but what did Houston Nutt always used to say? It's the best 4 years of your life or whatever. So if you have a chance to stay 1 or 2 more years, I don't blame the kids, but I tend to agree with you. It's not going to change anytime.
See, we see this in normal life every day. Kids stay in school 7, 8 years all the time. They just don't play sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chuck, I disagree with you, and here's why. They're trying to figure out every nook and cranny they can to button up this $22 million shortfall they're facing with the revenue sharing. Well, one way to button some of that up is some of these players that hang around and want gradually more money every year and, are physically older, more mature. I mean, if you cut that off to some degree, I think long term, these schools are probably having to come up with a little less NIL and a little less revenue sharing, long term, or at least maybe the same revenue sharing, but less NIL considerations.
Well, I hear what you're saying on that. All I'm saying is I don't think we're going back to the days of strict adherence to the 5 to play 4. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're right about that. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, 8. I think what what I heard out of his phrase is they're giving everybody a waiver. I think he's just asking them to tighten it up a little bit. Let's just follow the rule in the books.
Well, speaking of Cal, Chuck, I don't know if you've seen this recent report. We're going to have the guy on that broke. He's actually broken a couple things for Arkansas athletics and basketball schedules. Rocco Miller. Sounds like, or it looks like, according to his report, that Arkansas is going to play Illinois on the 28th, this upcoming Thanksgiving. That has not been solidified yet by either school. There's no location to be determined. That's another marquee non-conference game. It sounds like potentially could be on your schedule this upcoming season.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but I'm sure he wouldn't have thrown it out there if he didn't have a pretty good feel that it might happen. But it sounds like they're going to play Illinois. Where and exactly when, we don't know. But, this is, it's exciting for people because they're hearing marquee names, as far as opponents. And when you hear we're going to play so-and-so out of the Big Ten on Thanksgiving Day, well, that's going to be a TV game. I mean, it's going to be something that is out there for you to watch. But we're just going to have to wait and see how it all shakes out. But it sounds like they're going to play Illinois.
Yeah. So the real question is, where does Chuck Barrett want to go before he goes to Miami and New York in the early December? So, if you could pick the venue, where would you want this game to be played?
Close by.
That's what Tommy made a good point, and I didn't think about this. Like, if you put that game in St. Louis or Chicago or Kansas City, I mean, that's not too far of a trek. I know you guys would be flying, Chuck, but for the Razorback fans that maybe wanted to have a Thanksgiving weekend, that would be doable in kind of that sector. Yeah.
Well, I think the one thing we have to keep in mind is this is not one side or the other's call. This is TV's call.
That's a good point, yeah.
These are TV games. These are not, hey, let's schedule Illinois. I know a guy up there. Hey, while we're at it, let's just play on Thanksgiving in Kansas City. Be nice. And look, that may be the way television works it out, and I hope it is. But I think we sometimes get we're kind of caught up in this Dallas thing. Well, that's going to be our game, and maybe and it might be. I have no idea. All this is just speculation based on one guy's report. But I do think it's important to keep in mind that a lot of these games, neither school's making the final call. Television's making the final call.
I've suggested Chicago would be a great spot for this. I know Illinois is close by, and Cal wants to recruit nationally, but I just think about places you'd like to have a bigger brand and where players come from. And, Chicago, I think, would be a good place that maybe you go play a game like this in.
Think about Patrick Beverly, one of the more notable Chicago guys that you've gotten kind of out of that area. I know you've had more success in maybe like Memphis and Tulsa, but again, you have to re-identify where your success can be now based on Cal's recruiting footprint, which is nationally.
We sound like people who've come into money. Hey, where are we going to travel first?
Well, we're the
I'd like to go to Chicago.
Yeah, we're the Clampets.
Let's just go out to L.A.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm with you, man. I'm ready to go. Although Chicago does sound a little bit cold on Thanksgiving Day. I'm not going to lie about that.
Probably not terrible that time. I mean, it's not January. I wouldn't want to go in January up there. But,
No, it would not be a situation where you found yourself in. But those are cute
Chicago's pretty cold in December, guys.
Yeah. I was there in for this past
For
December.
Thanksgiving, November, late November.
Yeah. Last basketball note before we move on. Chuck, I don't know if you've seen Ross Dellinger. I know you kind of pay attention to his stuff, but it sounds like that NCAA officials are meeting with conference commissioners about expanding the NCAA tournament. Tommy presented this when we were talking about it before the show, the idea that it is one of the main reasons is for money. I just, when I think about like the first edition of the college,
the only reason.
yeah, and maybe that's the better way to frame it. But when I think about the college football playoff, I still think the best football team will win out more times than not. I just wonder, like maybe for the first time ever, we'll see Tennessee win as the number one overall national seeds. I say ever since 1999. I just wonder what kind of cloudiness this might add to basketball and make it that much more difficult. And maybe the champion is not necessarily deserving, but not the true champion just based on how that format is set up when you add additional teams. Just harder, I feel like, in basketball.
Well, I'm not sure the analogy to basketball and baseball. I mean, it's pretty much the same number of teams. They may decide to expand the tournament. I don't know exactly what the latest impetus is for this. I mean, the overall reason's money, but I'm not sure what's sparked this. I don't know. I don't think it's broken, but I also understand the desire to play another weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if that's what they want to do, if the numbers are right, that's what they'll do.
Here was kind of my logic or where I was coming from. A couple things in play. The money is the only reason. They've got this revenue sharing. They need more revenue to share and keep things as close to status quo in college athletics as they can without making massive administrative cuts and other cuts throughout programs. Also, you've got, who's their TV partners now? TBS, TNT, True TV, CBS. Who just lost a big NBA contract? That'd be TNT, who might have a little money to spend on some extra games right now.
It's a good point.
So that those were some of my, factors.
Well, they've already bought into football because that's a sore spot with some of the NBA people on TNT. So, yeah, there's hey, this is this is all going to shake out, and I suspect they'll expand it a little bit. And look, we've never seen playoffs and postseasons contract.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't see that. So this is not going to happen here either. The first time Arkansas went to the Final Four under Eddie Sutton, there were 32 teams. Can you imagine an NCAA tournament with 32 teams? Can you imagine
or contracting back to that?
Yeah.
Or even the 48. Even the 48.
I mean, it's they figured out a way to make Tuesday night games in Dayton, Ohio, part of the NCAA tournament, even though most brackets don't require you to fill that out.
But it's grown the game by doing it. So
has it?
Yeah, because I think more people are there more people interested in March Madness? Was that even a term when Eddie Sutton took a team? When
no, I'm talking about the expanding from 64 to 68.
That's
what I was talking about.
I'm just talking about as they've grown the tournament over.
Oh no, I don't think it's been bad at all. Yeah. I don't understand the 64 to 68.
No, I agree with you there. I agree with you.
No, as a general rule, certainly the tournament's better than it once was.
It's one of the biggest sporting events in the country. Hey, we're talking about all these events and football's coming up and all these fun things that are going to be on the schedule. Hey, if you're thinking right now about football games or even when the basketball schedule completely comes out and you want to make plans to stay in Northwest Arkansas, let me send you over to our friends at the Inn at the Mill. Jennifer answers the phone at the front desk weekdays during the day. So friendly. I mean, you can just hear that bubbly personality coming through the phone, and she takes care of you once you're in the system, and she's got your details. When you call back up, she answers the phone. There's no phone tree. There's no press 1 for current reservations, press 2 for new. None of that. They don't have that at the Inn at the Mill. So you get the personal touch. They've got great oversized suites that you're going to like, great breakfast to start the day, and the location can't be beat. I mean, almost immediately off the exit at exit 69 off I-49 in Johnson, close to everything going north in Benton County, close to the university and campus. just minutes away. It's all at the Inn at the Mill. InnAtTheMill.com, or just call Jennifer, 479-443-1800. That's 443-1800 for the Inn at the Mill in Northwest Arkansas.
So we know the College World Series finals teams this weekend, the Texas A&M Aggies and the Tennessee Volunteers. It will get going on Saturday, and there's a possibility of a Game 3 on Monday night. We've already got some text in here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Robert, for example, is a lifelong Florida Gators fan. And Texas A&M, who is he going to be rooting for this weekend? Russell in Huntsville says if anyone else was coaching Tennessee, he would pull for them. Robert from Nashville saying I'm pulling for the same team the whole series, and that is whoever is playing against the Tennessee Volunteers. I was kind of curious what our audience felt about this upcoming weekend, but it sounds like you've got a couple strong opinions both ways on the Vols and A&M. What you've said makes sense about the recruiting aspects, but we've also gotten some brutal hatred about the Vols this morning.
I don't know who's going to win. I think Tennessee's the better team, but better teams don't always pull it out. But if I had to, if I'm picked and forced to lay a mortgage payment down, I would prefer Tennessee win this over A&M. But I think it's going to be an interesting series. And Chuck, once again, all SEC to determine the national title.
Yeah, SEC goes 5-0 against the ACC. I mean, pretty much smoked them. I don't think there's any doubt. First off, you had 4-4 out of 300 and something teams. You were down to 2 conferences, and one went 5-0 against the other. So I think that's that's a pretty strong statement there. Tennessee, I picked them to win it, even though they were the number 1 seed. But I'll say this: A&M's pitching is really, really good. And if there's a team left who can shut down Tennessee's bats, they're about to play them. So I don't think this is a given. I would not be surprised to see this thing go 3 games. But I do think Tennessee's the overall better team. They've got Christian Moore. And that guy, in my mind, he's what separates them.
Ty brought up the point that it would pain Razorback fans, true baseball fans, if Tony Vitello won a national championship before Dave Van Horn won one himself. Do you, when you get a feel for the fan base, or when you're talking to people, is that something in your conversations that you're hearing?
Never comes up. I mean, honestly, never comes up in the conversations I have. I can't speak for everybody else.
You bring up the Tennessee aspect of hitting. I mean, they're just, even in Omaha in that bigger park, they're doing things like this consistently.
From an injury, pitching in relief, as Burke launches right center field.
I think what surprised me about the Vols is we talked about, like, it's one thing to hit those out in Lindsey Nelson, but they're hitting them out in Charles Schwab, which is a huge ballpark. And and I heard Phil talking about A&M's pitching even prior to Arkansas playing the Aggies this season. He talked about how good they are, and it's been a key reason why they're there. It's like the unstoppable force versus the immovable object this weekend, and I just wonder if Tennessee can keep up with it, because to this point, no one's been able to stop them hitting the baseball, even in Charles Schwab Field.
You're right. And that is, as I said a minute ago, I think that's the matchup right there. And I do think A&M's got better pitching than anyone Tennessee's faced so far. So I do think that's the matchup. Now, all the teams have hit home runs up there. Now, I think yesterday, this was my take yesterday, and having been up there more than once, they'd had a big storm day the day before, had a storm come in the night before. It was cool yesterday. The wind was minimal. It was warm enough, or it I guess the way I would phrase it, it wasn't cool enough to deaden the ball, but there wasn't wind blowing in out of the south like there usually is, and in that ballpark, that means it blows in from right field. So I think the weather conditions, based on what I've seen so far, have had something to do with it. I'm not saying it's the tipping point as to why there have been so many home runs, but they're not hitting the ball into that jet stream in right field the way you do sometimes at that place.
And what does that do, in your opinion, for the pitcher's mindset? I think mentally that's got to change your, kind of your approach when you don't have the wind, you got that deep cavern out there, versus when the wind's against you as a pitcher.
Well, but there's no evidence so far to indicate that's what's happened. I mean, there's not been those games where, center field's basically been your safe spot out there. But there have been teams that have hit the ball down the lines out of the ballparks all across the World Series if you watch it this year. I just think that it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be a great matchup, and there are lots of things you can do to, if you really want to get inside the game. But A&M's got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
A&M's got a real chance.
You mentioned the All-SEC matchup again, which we've seen before, which I know Greg Sankey loves to see. The SEC streak will continue like it has, and maybe the West streak for the final time with the Western Division ending once Texas and Oklahoma join the league will continue as well. A couple more texts. Zach in Paragould said he's pulling for the Vols just because he can't stomach the idea of the Colt in College Station winning it. Sandy and Muldrow also feels the same way. He will not pull for A&M under any circumstances. And Chuck, I can't remember if we got a chance to talk with you about this or not. I know we do, Clay, but the two fans that were yelling at the Florida dugout.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay, we did. And I just want, that's not Schlossnagle and that team's fault. But I wonder if that, for just the casual college baseball fans, if more people are.
I thought this was a good point from Clay that the locals have chosen sides, and it will be anything other than A&M based on that. So I don't know how much of an edge that creates for Tennessee, but I thought Clay made a good point yesterday that the locals always pick a team. Well, they're not going to pick A&M, Chuck.
No, but I don't know how many locals are going to get in. Tennessee and Texas A&M have people up there. I think Tennessee and Texas A&M are going to dominate I think their fans are going to dominate the crowd. That was a terrible thing that happened, but it doesn't have anything to do with anybody other than those two people.
Yeah. And let's not pretend like for a minute that we couldn't have two drunken idiots in our fan base do something equally despicable at some point and make Arkansas's program
Hopefully
look bad. So, it could happen to anyone. They're Aggies and they're easy to pick on, but let's not act like, we're immune from such idiocy.
Let's just hope it doesn't get to that point. Now,
I agree with you.
Single A in Danville is rooting for food poisoning. That's his team.
Michael Jordan's Pizza.
Yeah. Daniel McLarty is rooting for COVID this weekend.
Well, no one should ever root for that again.
So, couple texts in. Again, it gets going on Saturday, 6:30 on ESPN, 1 o'clock Sunday on ABC, and then if necessary, they will play at 6 o'clock. That is the setup for the College World Series finals this weekend between the Aggies and the Volunteers.
It's been a long, Chuck, maybe you can rephrase. When's the last time it was on a net, beyond ESPN, because he mentions ABC there.
I don't think it ever has been.
I think back in the day, way back in the 80s, I think it was on CBS at times, but
it was on CBS. It was on CBS, in fact, all the way through the 90s. Okay. But the whole tournament wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just and it was one championship game.
Right. So, this this will be good for those programs and for college baseball to, I don't know how much difference there is between ABC and ESPN, but there is some difference. That's why they're putting it there. Brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. Immediate openings in Boone, Marion, Baxter County, also in Benton and Washington counties as well. If you're a licensed CDL driver with no automatic restriction, you can go to work like today. They need people to join their team to deliver cement and concrete and other of their great products and aggregates to job sites. Jobs.crh.com is where you apply. Jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, let's come back to John Calipari, something he said on the other side.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Ty, that's the million-dollar question.
This is the Morning Rush.
The name Neumeier means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food. Right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Neumeier's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Neumeier family.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors is ready to help you have a great time. Going fishing? Jelco has one of the largest selections of fishing equipment and gear for your day on the water. Taking a vacation? Jelco has a great selection of casual shirts, shorts, and comfortable shoes to make your vacation one to remember. Fall is not far away, so start getting your bows and guns ready for fall. Jelco Outdoors, your store for all season. Have a great summer. From Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, mostly sunny sky. Our high this afternoon will be in the upper 80s to near 90. Partly cloudy sky, upper 60s overnight. We should see another sunny one on Friday. Our high on Friday in the low 90s, and Saturday sunny skies, highs in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 70 days.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
You know where this was in the 90s. You know, we got a building that seats 20,000. The fans are crazy. They love it. So I'm excited. I just want to bring this fan base in this state something unique and special. I want something to happen here that everybody takes pride in and knows they were involved in it. I was a part of this.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Hope Cal's talking about a national championship there. That'd be fun. Don't know if I got asked this question yesterday. Are we going to ever see a national championship in our lifetimes in the 3 major sports? And that question I said I didn't know. But hopefully Cal sounds like he can do it. We got a lot of time between basketball season and what could be the end of his career at Arkansas. Just kind of enjoying the talking season, which he talked on a couple national radio shows. We'll get into some more of the stuff he said. But we did get an important text on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, Tommy, about Dylan and the update on football camp, how that went this week.
Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. Hey, brought to you by the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security, or maybe just the way it presents itself from the curb, from the street, needs just a better look? A great fence from the Fence Man can give you both. It can control the access in and out of your business or even your home. With custom wrought iron fencing and ornamental iron, they do all of it. Or if you just need a private wood privacy fence, vinyl or wood, around your backyard, or a chain link fence, they do it all. 782-3936 is the number. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. So, Dylan attended the offensive lineman camp, and I was really surprised they didn't just, offer the 5'8", 165-pound offensive guard from the freshman team at Southside a scholarship. Coach Levy watched him close, but I was just floored that who do you say he had? That's who he said he had. Someone, a GA named Coach Levy.
Okay, GA. I was thinking the head coach of Mississippi State when you said that.
But that's who he said worked with him. Someone named Coach Libby or Levy, Libby, I believe is how he spelled it. I can't believe they didn't offer an immediate scholarship, after just one camp. But, maybe next year. So,
probably.
He said he had fun. That's I said, hey, we're there for fun. He got to see the facilities. Coach Pittman talked to him. And as a 14-year-old, he thought that's the coolest thing ever.
Chuck, you've gotten to talk and call a lot of great Razorback names over the years. How unique would it be to talk about Dylan?
I think he's at a genetic...
It would be unique to talk about a 5'8", 165-pound pulling guard.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I think he's at a genetic disadvantage to probably ever arrive at the,
he's taller than you,
the SEC level. No, but he's getting there quick.
Okay. That's good.
But I can still put him in his place if I need to.
As you should. I did see that they posted it.
Hey, I was at my mom's last night. We had to move some stuff around. She got some people working on some garage doors today. And so we had to move some things in her garage for her. And he is like shot up over the last 6 months. He's taller than my mom by half a head now. So, I mean, they grow like weeds when they get to 14. Eating me out of house and home. I'm going to get another job just to pay for groceries.
It's part of it, man.
This summertime is going to kill me, Chuck.
My brother and I did the same thing.
$200-300 a week in groceries.
Milk.
Oh, my Lord.
I did see Razorback football posted the winner of the 7-on-7. It was just a tiger mascot, Tommy. And there's like 100 tiger mascots in the state. Everyone's like, who won? Who? I think it was Bentonville High School, but I got a kick out of that. It's not often that I look to Snoop Dogg for college football advice or just content whatsoever, but he is a part of the upcoming Arizona Bowl. And I guess Barstool had it. Now he has it. He's a sponsor of it. And one of the things that he's going to do for his bowl this upcoming season, I would expect others to follow, is pay NIL to get guys to play.
I'm happy to announce that the Snoop Dogg AZ Bowl is partnering with brands that will help us be the first bowl, you hear me, the first bowl to offer NIL money to student athletes. We will be the first bowl to do that. Let's go, AZ. Let's go, NCAA. Let's go, players.
Until I saw this video, I forgot that he was a part of that. Here's my issue. I know they've got that upcoming basketball tournament in Vegas where there's NIL stuff, not only prize, but just playing in general. When I hear Matt talk about like his like wanting to play that final game, and I guess in his last season they weren't bowl eligible, if I remember that right. It's frustrating to me that we have to, like, I get the idea of paying kids. I understand that. I'm not against that. I haven't been for
Aren't
quite
they
some
already
time.
getting paid?
But that's the issue that I have, and I think it's stupid on a Too Stupid Thursday that we have. It's like no, that's part of the season, right? I know it's technically whether you say postseason or whatever, but you have to like now convince kids that in these lesser bowls, let's call them what they are, that they should play them. Even the ones that like are right below the college football playoff, like Capital One or the one in Tampa that Arkansas was at a couple years ago. It's like the roster is just depleted. You don't even know who's playing on your own team.
The love of the game is completely gone, and it's just non-existent. Playing for the love of the game doesn't happen anymore, does it?
I think they'll probably, as we move forward into the revenue share era, I don't think guys. I think it's going to be tied into bowl participation.
Mm-hmm.
I think there will be bowl participation tied into that. And we'll see what happens, but I do think that's coming.
And because it sounds like, according to the different articles I've read, that was a big part of what that was. And also bowls offering the same incentives like Snoop Dogg's Arizona Bowl is. I just wonder, like, with the college football playoff the way it is now, it's 12. There's already talks of it moving to 14 teams. Is that going to kill it off before you have a chance to save it, like with bowl season? And I'm someone, like, I'll watch bowls now, but not to the degree that I did 10 years ago, 10-plus years before the college football playoff, because they just don't mean as much to me. And especially with this new college football playoff, I think bowls are less, and I don't think fans are just the only ones that view it that way. I think it's hard to convince players to not only get up, but treat it like they used to back in the day. And I think that's a disappointing aspect of college football that we're trending towards, is because
let me interrupt you, because Ty, there's a generation, and I'm not casting stones, but your age group's part of it, where you either win the national championship or you suck.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the reason here. I can remember when they first started talking about the BCS. I was on the air back then. And I can remember saying that all this is going to do is move us closer to the point where the only thing that matters are the 4, 6, 8, or 12 teams that are in however you ultimately come up with your playoff format. Nobody's going to care about anything else, because the media narrative is going to be entirely centered around the playoffs. And that's exactly what's happening right now. You talked about Matt Jones a little bit earlier. What if Matt Jones had grown up in an era where the only thing people focused on was the playoff, and all the adults around him talked to him every day about how he's got to be thinking about what kind of income that he's making?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's easy when you're 18 years old and you've come from an environment where that possibility never even existed, to growing up as an 18-year-old now when you've been raised in an environment where people say you got to get your share. And so you got 17-year-olds that think they're businessmen, and you got 21-year-olds that think, well, I got to make a business decision and not go to the bowl game.
Yeah.
And it's because that's is what they've been told since they were 13 or 14 years old.
Good point.
All right, Morning Rush Daily question coming up. We're brought to you by Oaklawn Sports. If you haven't downloaded their app, go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and do that now. When you sign up, you get a second chance bet on your very first one up to $250. What does that mean? Well, open your account, make your deposit with your Debit or credit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, ACH, or if you're at Oaklawn, you can put cash in or out of your account. All those methods work in or out. Make your deposit. Make your first bet of at least $10, and if that bet doesn't work out, well, they'll give you a bonus bet of equal value up to $250. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with a brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
All right, we got our Morning Rush Daily Question when we return, plus our friend Tom Murphy, and we'll get back to some of this Cal stuff coming up.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Guys, I commend you. You're working at it. Good job. Thank you very much.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is the Morning Rush.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 20.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% and welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and
Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
College World Series final is set. The championship series is set. Tennessee will take on Texas A&M. That will begin Saturday night. Morning Rush Daily Question brought to you by Red River Dodge. It's pretty simple, guys. Who you rooting for? Who do you want to win the College World Series? Chuck, do you want Tennessee or do you want A&M to carry the crown?
I'm not rooting for either one of them, but I think Tennessee's going to win.
I think Tennessee's going to win, but I'd rather have A&M win. I want to see the SEC West streak continue. I don't want Tony to win one before Dave does, but I ultimately think the Vols are going to pull it off, and the streak is going to be broken for the first time since 1999. Bruce Stanton is going to
I declared like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
You did.
Just for the record. Don't act like it's your prediction. Unless, of course, A&M wins. Then it's all on you.
I had Florida winning, and they got trounced 6-0 in their elimination game yesterday. So, no, but I'll give you credit. Thinking about Tennessee, I think
they're not there yet. A&M's good.
Yeah, I think what's important to note about the Vols, and Tony kind of said it in his rant, is they haven't been like number one all season. Like when you think about like they were number one heading into that, but this wasn't. They weren't like preseason number one. I don't remember where they were at, but that what is it? Heavy the heart that wears the crown or whatever that phrase is. That wears the crown. They haven't had to deal with that weight and pressure all season. They have the last couple weeks, last month of the season, but I think to a certain extent that might have helped them a little bit.
Well, he knew what he was doing there. He was trying to make the number one overall seed the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what he was trying to do. And maybe he convinced his guys. I don't know. He didn't convince me. I can assure you that, because they've had the best team day to day for 2 or 3 months now.
Jay, I don't think it's coincidence that the number one seed is lost for basically a quarter century, and maybe that streak is broken. But why do you think it's been that way? It can't. To me, Chuck, it just can't be coincidence that this might be the first time that a one seed breaks through since '99.
Because it's the most wide open tournament in all of college sports. That would be my simple answer.
Okay.
It's the most wide open tournament in all of college sports, and I believe that. And I think that's got as much to do with it as anything. Now, do I think pressure comes to bear? Absolutely. Do I think that has something to do with it? Do I think some of the time they've seeded the tournament wrong and you've had non-baseball people coming up with the seeds? Yes, I do. I think that's got something to do with it. I think all the factors come into play there. But and Tennessee's not to the finish line yet.
No.
Very true.
I mean, they're not to the finish line yet. Texas A&M's perfectly capable of beating them. I'd pick Tennessee, and I have. But if A&M gets a great pitching performance Saturday night and they win game one, I wouldn't bet against
Do you
them.
know how painful it is for me to cheer for a team in maroon and white? Do you know that like it's going against every fiber of my being? Like I don't have this hatred.
You're not forced.
I don't have this hatred for Tennessee like a lot of you do.
It's maroon and white, or it's orange.
Yeah,
it's not a great choice.
It's awful either way. Like if anything, of course, I was going for Florida State because they were the lone team. But like Chuck pointed out earlier, SEC went 5-0. I mean, you're just in a different class right now. And I know Michigan won the national championship in football. I know some people don't feel this way, but I was happy that Alabama went to a Final Four last year because your SEC basketball was lagging behind relative to the other sports in the major three. Is it going to catch up to football and baseball anytime soon? Probably not. But you are just in a different class right now as a conference. And baseball team has been a part of that class, just hadn't won it just yet. Your basketball team hopefully is getting back to that point. Had a good couple years under Muss. I don't know about the football team anytime soon, but it is. I mean, Greg Sankey's got to be ecstatic where the conference is right now competitively.
And again, as I've said before, I understand comparing the three sports, but they're entirely different. And there's a reason why baseball as a sport does as well as it does in the SEC. There's a reason why football does, and there's a reason why basketball's had some challenges here and there. But all three sports are really good. And we're lucky as fans to be able to watch big-time college sports, whether it be football, basketball, or baseball.
All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It's brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Now, let's talk to Tom Murphy on the Morning Rush.
So, Tom, we've got it set this weekend. College World Series with the Aggies and the Vols. Which way are you going? Tony Vitello or Jim Schlossnagle? Who takes it this weekend?
Good morning, y'all. I think we talked about this on Tuesday. These were my picks, and I know they were the favorites, but I just felt like both of them had the mojo going into the postseason. Certainly the pitching depth and a ton of hitting. And Tennessee's gotten all their name guys producing in this series, and so they're going to be hard to stop. But A&M, both teams seem to have that it factor, and they both can't win it. I don't know. Maybe I'll go with A&M. I like Tony and I like Schlossnagle, both of them. But if you pin me down, I just think Tennessee has more overall depth to their hitting. And so it looked like Laviolette was playing yesterday, but I think that's right. But you worry about his hamstring that he tweaked the other day. So I don't know. I think maybe overall the edge might go to Tennessee here.
I saw him basically limping to home plate from third. That didn't look definitely in some discomfort heading into this weekend. Now that's again the big college baseball story, which will conclude either Sunday or Monday night. MLB wise, it's Paul Skenes, who had another outstanding performance. I know there are some that want him to be on the All-Star team. Hasn't played for the first quarter, I guess, of the season because he was in the minors. Tom, he's quickly adapted. Are you surprised how just like fast the majors have come to him? And is this something you expect to continue, or you think teams will start to figure him out his rookie year?
Right. Slightly surprised, but the 100-mile-an-hour fastball plays. I mean, it's just hard for major leaguers to catch up to it. I don't know how much movement, he gets out of it, because that's the key. If you can get some kind of late tail to it or whatever. But I read a passionate column the other day from a Pittsburgh columnist. I cannot remember who it was, but it was basically like the Major League Baseball would be making a mistake if Skenes was not at the All-Star game. And I tend to agree with that. They have another good pitcher who I think was on the roster last year. Are they a team that only gets one? I don't know. But I think baseball would doing itself a disservice if Skenes wasn't on there, because people just want to come and see somebody like him who's kind of a sensation. And the columnist pointed out that you remember Mark DeBurge Fidrich, you won't tie, but in 77, 78, he was a sensation. The way he walked about on the mound and talked to himself, and they got him on the All-Star team. And I know there's a comparison to some other guys who got called up early in the season but didn't put together enough, stats or whatever to make the team. But I just think in today's day and age, Skenes, they would be right by putting Skenes on an all-star roster.
Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Sometime this weekend or Monday, college baseball's national champion will be crowned. It kind of mark the end of the college year. It's the quietest time in college athletics. I know the camps have wrapped up for the football coaching staff. Tom, until we get to SEC Media Days, this really grows into the quietest time of the year in Fayetteville and in college athletics as a whole.
Yes, indeed it does. And the ADG has our annual right of talking to the freshmen who were coming in, and actually was in there yesterday talking to several of the guys. Kyle Parkinson was good enough to set that up. And so our stories on the young players will be coming out soon. And I will say this for Sam Pittman and his staff. They talk about how they recruit guys with character and guys that fit and all that. And I will say that the guys I talked to yesterday all seem to be, just earnest young men who came here for the right reasons, and you just hope that they're good football players. You know, I talked to Bradley Shaw, the linebacker from Hoover, Alabama, who was not here in spring, and then Juju Pope, and I talked to C.J. Brown, Bentonville, driven kid, and then Selman Bridges, the cornerback, and they all just have engaging personalities, and I think that's kind of how Arkansas recruits. And hopefully the team bonding goes well, because they're up against it this year. I mean, they're not going to be picked to do much of anything, and they have to bond quickly and find a way to produce better offensively. And we'll see where that leads. But I'll say this: they recruit good young men, and it was nice to talk to them yesterday.
You know, we're about a month from SEC Media Day. It's going to be in Dallas this year. I just wonder, because sometimes you get a little more of a local angle or edge from the questioning at times. We saw that in the state of Alabama a lot. Bobby Petrino coming from A&M to Fayetteville. I would imagine Coach Pittman will be prepared for several questions about Bobby Petrino being on his staff from some of the Texas-based media.
No question about it. And even some of the Arkansas-based media might have follow-up stuff about how it went in the spring and so on. But you know what? I have full faith that Sam Pittman will handle it so much better than Jimbo did last year. You could kind of tell there was this, maybe not intimidated, but you could tell Jimbo, Bobby Petrino was a forceful personality, and Sam Pittman is not. He wants Petrino to do his thing, and I think with Jimbo, maybe a little bit of professional jealousy that he was the offensive guru for all these years. And now he's got this guy, and how's it going to mesh? And he just didn't handle the questions very well.
Talking with Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, and Whole Hog Sports here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Tom, one of Sam Pittman's former players, Jake Bates, not necessarily got called up, but signed with the Detroit Lions. This is a kid that didn't really kick that much at Texas State and at Arkansas, because Cam was handling those duties. How crazy is it to just kind of watch his career get to where it is, where sounds like he's going to be the Lions kicker this upcoming season?
Yeah, I love it, and I kind of became a Lions fan last year. Wanted to see them win the NFC Championship and go into the Super Bowl, because they're just such a. If you think of NFL franchises that haven't done much, they come to mind very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Them, the Falcons. There's a few others, Browns, but it was so cool that he had the 60+ yarders in the UFL this year, and got such attention put on him. And the question, well, why didn't you kick in college? Well, yeah, Cam Little was ahead of him. And when he signed, I noticed that Cam Little posted a very congratulatory post on Twitter. So it was great to see. And I actually was going through and killing out some old pictures and videos on my phone, and I had one of the onside kick that they successfully recovered at home.
Bama, yep.
And Bates was the one who did it, but Pooh Paul and Jordan Crook absolutely obliterated two Alabama DBs or linebackers just about at the point of the onside kick recovery. It was so beautifully executed, and to see them pull that off against Bama and two guys just getting wiped out for Bates to easily make the recovery was pretty cool to see.
And I know it's got to be cool for three Razorbacks now. I know Skipper and Ragnow played with each other, but now Jake, you got three Hogs up in Detroit. That's kind of significant to have that on one NFL roster. It's pretty cool. Tom, before we let you go, Willie Mays dies at 93 years old. I know you follow the Atlanta Braves pretty closely, but you also pay attention to MLB stuff and big storylines. One of the biggest icons in the sport. You might not have got to watch a lot of them, to be honest, based on kind of when you were born, but your thoughts on the passing of one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
Yeah, well, you said it. He is one of the greatest. Obviously, I was more of a Hank Aaron guy, but Willie Mays was such an ambassador for the game, and you saw all the tributes in the last few days from major leaguers like Ken Griffey and all, talking about what he meant to them, how he mentored them. And he was going to show up at this game that's going to be at Rickwood Field in Birmingham. And we drove by it just the other day, for when we went down for the SEC baseball tournament. Rickwood Field's looking nice, and unfortunately he wasn't, going to be able to go. They might have actually already had the game, but it's a shame that, he wasn't able to do that as one final deal before he passed. But obviously Willie Mays was so great for the game, and the catch he made in the 1954 World Series is one of the most iconic plays in all of Major League history.
Tom, we'll leave it there, man. Appreciate the stuff. We'll do it again on Tuesday.
You betcha. See ya.
All right, Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. 6 locations. Springdale and in Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away. They're always online at McLartyDaniel.com. Chuck, we had a chance to ask you about Willie Mays. I don't know how much of his prime you were able to see at your age, but, I think everyone you talk to, easily considers him the best center fielder ever in Major League Baseball.
He was right at the end when I was a child. And by child, I mean 7, 8, 9 years old. I remember his final years with the Giants. I remember when they traded him to the Mets, and he was just a shell of himself when they played the A's in the World Series. I remember that. But he was, most of his great play came in the 50s and 60s. And you've obviously got to be of a certain age to have, firsthand knowledge. I remember him very well, but he was at the tail end of his career at that point. But a great ambassador for the game. And, it's interesting now. I see a lot of these old pictures. You see him with, Mickey Mantle, and you see Mays next to DiMaggio or Duke Snyder or some of his peers. And all you got to do is look at the pictures, see who the best player was. I mean, Willie Mays is cut now. I mean, he was cut when guys weren't cut. And he was a great athlete. Keith Hernandez paid him probably the greatest tribute. And it's ball player to ball player, about how he grew up in the Bay Area and Willie Mays was his favorite player. And he talked about how every time you went and watched the Giants play, Willie Mays was going to do something that made you talk about him. It might be hitting a home run, might be stealing a base, which is kind of novel now, might be throwing a guy out who's tagging up at third, might be making a diving catch in the outfield. He was going to do something every game that nobody else on the field could do.
Kind of had that Michael Jordan approach and I heard him talk about it. It's like these fans came to the ballpark to watch me play, and I got to do. And he also mentioned he always wore a cap that was one size too small, so it would fly off when he was running the bases, which I never thought about or heard of. But
lots
I
of
thought
guys do that.
Do they?
Hey, let me tell you something. A good outfielder has mastered the art of loping over, diving at the end, holding the ball up, and listening to the crowd go crazy.
Yeah.
I know lots of guys who've played the game and who've done that. They time it, and they know what they're doing. And Willie did too. He was a showman. That was one of the things that I believe it was the Giants statement cited in their release on his passing was his showmanship. Showmanship's part of it, man. I mean, that's part of the deal. You got to know how to play to the crowd a little bit, and he did.
Yeah. I don't think there's been some great ones in center field. You mentioned DiMaggio, and I know Mantle played I think it was right field until DiMaggio retired. But, I mean, you just think about that, and everyone easily considers Willie Mays the best amongst all of those. And all you have to say is Mantle and DiMaggio. You know exactly who you're talking about. And Willie Mays was best amongst all of them in center field.
You know, it's interesting. The iconic catch that's just known as the catch. You watch that play. I'm not diminishing the play at all. It was a great play. But guys make that once a week in the big leagues now. There have been better catches than that. It shows you how the game's evolved. I mean, 70 years later, I'm not saying that's a routine play, but hey, the kid at Clemson, I mean, he made that catch in a regional a couple of weeks ago. And but at the time, given the way the game was played, given who was playing it, Mays stood out above all the others.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, our boy Ty's going to enter adulthood. He's buying him a home.
Buying a house. How's that going, Ty? You moved in yet?
2 weeks. I think it's
2 weeks.
Closing. When are you going to close?
Have you gotten the key yet?
Beginning of July.
All right.
So,
hadn't got the closing date yet.
When's the first party?
It's going to be a man's house. There's going to be one lazy boy in the living room and a TV.
You having roommates? You're taking on roommates?
I am
flying
taking.
solo.
Yeah, no, roommates are key to get that.
Making that house payment?
Yeah, making that house
I
payment.
got you. Hey, Ty went through Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, and whether it's your first time out or whether you've been doing this your whole life, the thing that you'll always find with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, is a partner, someone who can meet you where you are. If you're a first-time buyer, they're right there with you. If you've been doing this for 30 years and they've been your partner every step of the way, they're going to be right there with you. That's what you get with someone who's, number one, well-trained in what they do, someone who does it every single day. It's their full-time vocation. It's what they live for in many respects. That's what you need when you're spending the most money you've ever spent in your life. And that's what you'll always find with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. First time out, or maybe the last time you're going to do it. And everything in between. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith. They're up in Branson now, moving a lot of property up in Branson. You can always log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
So, have y'all seen what's going on in Bill Belichick's personal life? Just yet? Chuck, have you read that story at all?
The girlfriend story?
Yeah. 24.
You're on your own here, Ty.
Okay.
I'm touching this one with a 10-foot pole.
I'm closer to this age. I'll touch it. Bill Belichick is dating a 24-year-old right now by the name of Jordan Hudson. The backstory on how
he's 72. That's the backstory.
Yes. He is. There's quite a difference in age between the two.
You think?
It's funny. They met on this flight from the Boston area to Florida. She was 21 at the time.
And she was just instantly attracted to the...
I got to have me some of that.
She was
just instant.
She was
love at first sight.
Apparently, she was in college, and one of the things they were talking about was her logic course, and she had a textbook titled "Deductive Logic." And they ended up talking, had a conversation on it. He ended up signing the book with the 6 Super Bowls that he won in addition to his name inside the cover of the book. Since then, I guess he was dating someone at the time, Linda Holiday, who's now his ex. And they apparently they kept in touch, and they swapped contact information, and now she is dating him.
Now they're swapping a little more than contact information.
That is true. Here's my thought on this.
Please.
If you're her and you're like, Dad, I want to introduce you to my boyfriend. And she brings home Bill Belichick. I mean, I thought I was reading an SNL skit
She's
when I read this.
24. Her parents are probably
his age.
No. Her parents are probably my age.
Yeah,
I have a daughter older than her.
Oh, so love
old enough to be her grandfather is a real statement here.
Love is real. 72
I'm sure
to
for her
24
it
years
was love
old.
at first sight.
I would pay so much money to watch that first interaction, because there's no way she was like, Mom, Dad, I'm dating Bill Belichick. She came in and is probably
Junior?
introduced.
His son?
Steve?
Oh.
So
here's
congrats.
the question, though.
But
If this moves forward, does he have to adopt her before he can marry her? Or what's the laws in Massachusetts on that? Does he have to adopt her first before marriage? Or
I don't know.
I
don't know if he spends his time in Florida now that he's not the Patriots coach. But to sum it up, congratulations, Coach.
Yeah.
You are living every man's dream listening right now.
Another championship.
Every single one. Another ring. Put it on. Give it to her, though. You don't need a ring. Put one on her.
Yeah. I'm sure it's...
Congrats to Miss Hudson. Quite a steal.
As George would say, or he would sing, it's love without end. Amen. So,
what's the old math question? If Bill's 72 and Miss Hudson's 24, how much money does Bill have?
half as much as he used to. Hey, we're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. It's a dream come true, that's for sure. I was talking with Clint just the other day, and one of the things that makes Gaston's, I think, stand apart is there's something for everyone. There's nature trails, there's fitness centers, there's a brand new pool they've just installed last summer, great cabins, fireplaces, fire pits, a great restaurant, and, of course, trout fishing's the star of the show with our expert guides. Book your trip now, 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Tim Brando, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is the Morning Rush.
We got to show them we are the University of Arkansas.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
John Calipari talked a little bit yesterday on a couple national radio shows, had the same stuff he's saying, but he also referenced his new recruiting strategy, which we kind of know about. 8 or 9 players, got 9 on the roster, but one coach that he specifically pulled it from that I haven't heard before.
You know who I'm doing this like? Back in the day, a guy named Coach Smith, Dean Smith, back in the day, recruited for 10, 11, and 12. Recruited specifically for that spot. Now, there may be injuries. The guy may be better than everybody thought. He may beat somebody out. But he's being recruited for 10, 11, and 12. I want 8 or 9 guys on scholarship, NIL, all that. And then I want 10, 11, 12. We got 9 on scholarship. We're adding 10, 11, 12. And they'll be good players, but they're not going to be, but it doesn't mean they can't beat somebody out.
I was curious if this was something that he had seen somewhere else or pulled somewhere. Guys, I don't know about you. That's the first time I've heard him talk about where the origin is that from.
The comparison's not readily apparent to me. I'll just put it that way. I don't. I mean, you're recruiting 10, 11, 12, but they're not going to play. It's different now because guys go to places to play.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be able to go out and get a guy, I don't suspect, for a 10, 11, 12 spot that's going to be anything other than a glorified walk-on, because that kid's going to be looking to play somewhere. I think at the time Coach Smith coached, it would seem to me anyway that you had 10, 11, 12 guys that were more willing to assume those roles. I think the one thing that perhaps the comparison is, and I'm just kind of talking through it, that's the first time that I'd heard the cut. Perhaps, as he said, these guys are going to be on scholarship. They're not going to play a whole lot. They're going to assume the same role those guys did for Dean Smith. And those guys I don't think expected to play. And obviously these guys, he's declaring very early on that you're not going to play.
Yeah.
We're going to take care of you. You're going to be good players. You're going to be given a chance, but chances are you're not going to be out there. That's the first time I had heard that. So that's just kind of my initial reaction.
That was also in the era of a 3 to 4 year player, more likely 4 in Dean Smith's era. But that also meant players were leaving, 3 or 4 players were leaving, and if you were 10, 11, or 12, you had a chance to move up into the rotation your junior year or your senior year. No one stays 4 years anymore. So 10 or 11, 12 means a lot more difference in 2024 versus 1974 to me.
Well, the one thing that I'm going to be interested to see on this, and we just don't know because we've not seen this before, is do the 10, 11, 12 guys who fill out your roster, the walk-ons basically, do they stay? Are they 3 or 4 year guys? I suspect most of them probably will be. And they may be the ones the fans fall in love with because they've been around the most. I'm just speculating because we don't know. I mean, it's going to be new for everybody.
Yeah, an adjustment for sure. Congratulations to Hagen Smith, who's won the College Baseball Foundation National Pitcher of the Year. I think it's the second. He's had a couple All-Americans accolades, but this is, I think, the second Pitcher of the Year award that he's won. Guys, they have not announced the Golden Spikes. It would be awesome to see Hagen win that. I don't think he's going to, but another award on his trophy shelf, and they'll probably keep on coming. I wonder. I know there's been some comparisons made between him and Paul Skenes. I mean, you were talking about Paul's velocity. That I don't know if Hagen is going to necessarily adapt to the majors as quick as, or get to the majors as quick as Paul has, but I do wonder if there's that possibility that in year one he is able to make it on a roster. That would be something to keep an eye on, I think.
I would say we probably said a lot of the similar things about Kevin Kopps a few years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And it didn't unfold for him. And Kevin may end up, being an everyday player, but it just shows you how difficult it is to make it. And and really, Chuck, how great these guys are that play every day in the show. You got really great players that we watch come through the SEC and through Arkansas, and they ultimately don't get there. They're great players. We watch them. Just shows you how good these guys really are at the big league level.
Well, it also shows you, too, that age has something to do with it. The thing that Hagan really has going for him is he's young. I mean, he's young compared to those in his class, too. Copps was 24, 25 by the time he went here. When you're 24, 25, your window of opportunity is like next week. I mean, it really is, because they're going to go with somebody who's younger, and that's the thing that Smith has going for him. So much of it depends on where you go and whether or not they're in the race. Let's say I don't know where he's going to fall in the draft, but obviously if he, goes in the top 5, he's going to go to a team that's probably not in the hunt. They might be, but, if you go to the right team and they're in a hunt for a wild card spot and somebody gets hurt, you might find your way up there. But the thing you got to remember too is, and I'm not going to try to explain it because I don't fully understand it, but I know that when you get called up, has a lot to do with, like, for example, when you're eligible for arbitration. That's part of the reason they didn't bring Skenes up until they brought him up. They got past a certain date, and then they brought him up. And so you get into the business of baseball too when you become a professional. And Skenes has kind of dealt with that early in his career. But they finally just had to bring him up. He was so good.
He's been I'm curious to see if he gets any all-star looks. I know a lot of Pirates fans are pushing that.
But one thing, let me point this out. If the Pirates had their druthers, he would still be in the minor leagues because that arbitration clock wouldn't start until they bring him up. It's only because he's so good and the fans have demanded it that he's been brought up. Big league clubs would like to keep these guys down as long as they can because that affects the calendar and when that person becomes eligible for arbitration.
That is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Sterling is in Center Ridge. He wanted to go back and talk Willie Mays on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Hello, Sterling.
Hey, guys. And to touch on what you're talking about, Steve, like you said, the fans demanded. They like to bring them up when they're in the race to get that clock started when it's going to totally, especially the small market teams, when they're in the heat of a race. They can get, the full benefit of their talent. You hate to bring them up, and he may be great, but you're out of the race. What good is that really doing you in the big scheme of things? You just
and that's why I say the Pirates would love to have Skenes still down at AAA because they're not going to win the division. But it was just they just had to. He was so good.
Exactly. Another thing about that catch that you were talking about, Chuck, and y'all exactly right. We see that catch is hot nowadays, but what's missing when you see the highlight reel for that catch is that you're not reminded that it's 480 plus feet away from home plate when really catch this ball.
No question.
Really catching the ball that's out of the ballpark nowadays is what he's catching. So when we see other guys make the same type of catch, they're probably not getting to the chances are they're not getting to the ball unless they position themselves at the right
That's
spot.
a fair point. That's a very good point.
The other thing lost in that play is not only did he make the catch, then he pivoted, turned, and threw a perfect strike to keep the runner from scoring. That was on second.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Hey, do you want to spruce up your existing home or maybe start from the ground up? Either way, check with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas before you get started and find out all the options they've had. And they've been around for more than 100 years. They'll fit you with the right financing option for you and your family. Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has helped local families, just like yours, make their dream home come true. Visit myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com or stop by any of their 25 locations today.
Jake Bates has had quite a week, really quite a year. He's going to join us on the other side. Former Arkansas kicker, new Detroit Lion, gives his thoughts on his journey to the National Football League next on the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and control access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
This is the Morning Rush.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, mostly sunny sky. Our high this afternoon will be in the upper 80s to near 90. Partly cloudy sky, upper 60s overnight. We should see another sunny one on Friday. Our high on Friday in the low 90s, and Saturday sunny skies, highs in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 70 days.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
You know where this was in the 90s. You know, we got a building that seats 20,000. The fans are crazy. They love it. So I'm excited. I just want to bring this fan base in this state something unique and special. I want something to happen here that everybody takes pride in and knows they were involved in it. I was a part of this.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
It is hour number 3 of the Morning Rush. And we're going to have Jake Bates join us coming up shortly on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, former Arkansas Razorback, and now a Detroit Lion after signing earlier this week. Excited to chat with Jake, not just about what's happened this week, but his journey to get to this point. Now teaming up with 2 other Razorbacks, and Frank Ragnow and Dan Skipper in Detroit, guys.
Hey, first, a quick word for our friends at Uncorked. They're on Phoenix Avenue, next to Sodi's and Fort Smith. They've got a lot of great stuff they've added to the appetizer menu that make a great way to kind of wind down the day on their patio. It is patio season right now. You can get a refreshing cold glass of beer or one of your favorite cocktails, glass of wine, and enjoy some time outdoors with your family underneath their covered patio. TVs out there to watch the College World Series the last day or two, or watch whatever you want to take in to kind of unwind the day. Ty, I know you're not a mac and cheese fan for some reason, but they have got a brand new appetizer that I think a lot of people enjoy. They're fried mac and cheese, balls, curds. They just look awesome in this photo on their Facebook page where they take their mac and cheese, bread it, and flash fry it. You can try those out on the appetizers and all the new items that they've added as well. Refreshing summer drinks that you'll find only at Uncorked. Go to uncorkthefort.com to make your reservation for this weekend or any night at Uncorked, Phoenix Avenue, next to Sodi's in Fort Smith.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Jake's had quite an interesting journey to get to this point. Tomball High School in Texas. Actually played soccer, I think, at UCA for a couple years. Texas State in San Marcos, Fayetteville, Arkansas, and then with the Michigan Panthers. And now, Jake, you're a Detroit Lion. You didn't even have to switch stadiums, man. Staying right there at Ford Field.
Yeah, I know it's been pretty crazy. I'm super excited to be able to be a Detroit Lion, man. It's surreal. It's I'm just beyond excited. It's really cool to have been already played at that stadium and been able to see it, and now I get to see it. It's a different color now. But I'm super excited. I'm super grateful, and I just can't wait to get started.
So, Jake, I think Arkansas fans, a lot of them know the name Zach Ocker, who's a really good kicker in Fayetteville, and he had kind of a soccer background to it in Russellville High School. He was a great player there. How would you say that's kind of helped you along your journey to now being an NFL kicker?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that translate. Obviously, you're kicking a ball. The swing path is semi-similar. It is a little bit different, foot angles, but you also learn a lot of that in soccer. Just kind of being able to manipulate your foot a little bit to help yourself hit the ball, directionally. Big leg, I think, helps with soccer helps with. So I think there's a lot of things that translate, but there's a lot of things also you have to put a lot of work in and learn, because it's not the exact same swing. But I definitely think having a soccer background really helps and just kind of helps build that foundation.
Former Razorback and Detroit Lion Jake Bates with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Jake, first of all, congratulations, but tell us how that call went. How were you informed that you were going to be a part of the Detroit Lions?
Well, so after we lost the playoff game, there was a whole approval process that had to be done before we could start talking to teams. And once that was over with, and all that approval stuff was done, we set up some visits, and I went on a couple of visits, got home, and I was like, man, Detroit's where I want to be. I feel like that in my heart was home. That's where the Lord was calling me, and it was just a good feeling to be able to have that that interest. My interest to them was the same as their interest to me, and that was just a really good feeling. And I'm just beyond blessed to be able to do it and be able to go up to Detroit here in a month or so, reporting for training camp. And man, I was beyond excited. And first people I called were my parents, and they were ecstatic. That's where they've been to the stadium a couple times. They love it. It's been really good to us. And no, I mean, my whole family's excited. The whole village that it took to get to where I'm at is super excited. I have so many good people behind me, and I'm so excited. I'm really just truly so excited.
Tell us about that call with your family. I can imagine as a parent, there had to be probably some tears shed in that phone call.
Yeah, well, I wanted to wait till I could see them in person and tell them. But I was driving home, and I was on the phone with my dad, and he was like, if you hear anything and anything happens, please just let us know. Because they were ready to hear what's going on and all that stuff, and rightfully so. And I was like, okay, well, I guess it happened, like we're doing it, and they were over the moon. And man, I couldn't have asked for a better support system from them, and then my brothers, all my friends and extended family, and it's been unbelievable. And I've had so much support, so many messages from so many people from high school, college, all the stops I made in college, and everywhere in between.
You mentioned support. We're talking with Jake Bates, by the way, former Razorback and now Detroit Lions kicker. You're gonna have some Razorback support. You got Dan Skipper and Frank Ragnow there with you. 3 Razorbacks on one NFL team. Have they gotten a chance to maybe talk with you just yet?
No, I haven't gotten to talk to them yet. I'm sure that'll come soon, but I'm excited to have that little sense of home up there in Detroit for sure.
Jake, give us maybe a perspective what you're walking into with Dan Campbell. I got to be honest, I hate Texas A&M with a fiery passion, but he's like the lone guy that I actually kind of like. I know you probably haven't gotten a chance to talk with Coach yet, but from your sense of maybe talking with some future teammates or just anyone in the National Football League, what are you walking into with your head coach Dan Campbell?
No, I mean from what I've heard, it's kind of what you see is what you get, and he treats you like you want to be treated. He's gonna let the best player play. He wants to win, and I'm just so excited to play for a coach like that. Everyone up there in Detroit is just, you're going to want to run through a brick wall for this coach, and that's the kind of coach you want to play for. And I'm beyond excited to have a coach like that, and man, I just can't wait to get to work.
And Jake, walk us through your time in the USL and in that journey. While it was somewhat brief, got you to your end goal, but tell us the value of that in this process. Obviously, it got you the exposure and got you where you wanted to be, but can this really become, to a degree, a minor league, if you will, for the NFL?
I hope so. I really, really hope so. It gives so many people, outside of me, it gives so many people opportunities to show what they didn't get to show in college, or maybe they got overlooked, or they were, quote, undersized, or whatever it was. It just gives you another chance to play football, which is what we all want to do, and gives a chance to just show again that we can play too, and there's a lot of talent out there. We just give us a chance.
Yeah, because you've kind of been in that underdog role. You weren't the primary kicker. You've had to fight and overcome a lot through the UFL to get to the NFL. What's been the hardest part of that journey?
Kind of just telling myself to keep going. It's tough to keep going when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Which in a lot of days I felt like it wasn't there. And I felt like if I got my chance, I was confident that I'd be able to take advantage of it. But it was, am I ever going to get my chance? And luckily we have a good Lord, and he was so good to me and teaching me in a time of patience, to be patient and to remain trusting in him and faithful to him. And he's going to open doors, and that's what he did for me. And then obviously the chance in the UFL was just so much fun. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to keep going when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but persistence is going to pay off no matter where it's at. And I think I'm so happy that I was able to do that.
Yeah, Jake, you had three kicks of like 60-plus yards this year. I'd say you've made the most of your opportunity and with the Michigan Panthers. I want to come back to Fayetteville here just for a sec. Take us back to that onside kick against Alabama, which Arkansas, third quarter, you guys kind of got things rolling. Just take us back to that moment and when, I guess, Pittman and Fountain called that play. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, we had it in the week of practice. And so we knew it had a chance to be on. And then, like you said, I think we came out of halftime and I think we scored. And it was a 2-score game. And they're like, hey, we're doing it. And I was like, well, here we go. Here goes nothing. But that was such a cool moment. I almost kind of just went black, and I don't remember too much of it other than everybody just celebrating. But obviously, I had the two guys, Pooh Paul and Jordan Crook, in front of me blocking, making sure I didn't get hit. But no, it was unbelievable. That stadium, that got so loud. That was I didn't have too many glorious moments just being the kickoff guy, but that was pretty cool.
Jake, last thing before we let you go, and we appreciate you joining us. $1.9 million deal, $150 guaranteed, $100,000 signing bonus. What do you spend that signing bonus on?
Not much. I don't spend too much money on much. So I'm sure that'll go away, and I'm not gonna be spending it on much. But I had to get a new phone, so maybe we could say that. My phone was dead, so I had to get a new phone, so we'll go with that.
All right, well, that's a good investment. Again, Jake Bates, former Arkansas Razorback and now a Detroit Lion, one of three former Razorbacks that are up there at Ford Field. Jake, appreciate you joining us. Excited to see what kind of impact you can have with Dan Campbell's squad this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, good stuff from Jake. And I don't know I know there's something going on with Jacksonville's kicker as well, so you might have two Razorbacks kicking for 32 NFL teams this season with Cam Little.
Jake and all of our guests join us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. I think the neatest part of that story, Chuck, is just, he was the underdog at Arkansas, didn't get a lot of time, went to the UFL, you just constantly, fighting his way up, and now a shot at the highest level.
And you got to be happy for him. You got to pull for him. It's it's a little different for a kicker as opposed to a position player because, hey, kicker, you miss a couple extra points, you're done tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wide receiver drops a couple of passes, probably not going to cut him Monday morning. So kickers, it's sudden death every day for those guys, and he's getting a chance, and I'm sure pulling for him.
It's not easy to be in that position. I know that I'm forgetting Chicago's old kicker, but he missed that one in playoffs, and there are Chicago fans that still hit him. They get remembered for the misses, not the makes, but Jake, again, to get where he is now, I know that it's a pretty cool backstory.
And if he sticks and stays in Detroit, and if you're just kind of don't have an NFL team, and I know there's people that, the college football fans that don't have a team, hey, Detroit becomes a little easier to root for just because you got 3 Hogs on there, potentially.
Yeah, I think people have kept up with Ragnow and Skipper a good bit, and their head coach certainly has the type personality where he's going to draw some national media attention. And so the fact that, you've got players on that team, I don't know enough about, and I will admit, I don't know enough about Detroit's situation to know what he's going to be competing against when he goes into camp. I'm sure, obviously, they've signed him to a contract with the idea that he may be their kicker, but I'm not sure about how all that's going to work. Maybe you guys know.
Yeah, they just waived, and I'm forgetting the kid's name. They just waived somebody, Chuck.
Right.
So, and I want to say that they signed Jake and somewhere else, but I'm not 100% on that. So I think he's got, you're spending $2 million on a kicker. I think there's a pretty good investment there.
I think so, too. They obviously have signed him with the idea that he's going to be their kicker.
Yeah.
Not any doubt about that.
Not the most notable Arkansas name because, like he kind of alluded to, he just was doing kickoffs because you had Cam Little, and Cam's getting a shot in Jacksonville, it sounds like. So it's kind of understandable why he wasn't necessarily playing, but
he was behind a good one, though.
Yeah, it goes to, he was leading the SEC in kickoffs. He was like 4th nationally. He's a weapon for Arkansas. Sam Pittman talked about that. Just didn't necessarily handle the kickoff duties. So excited for Jake, and hopefully the season pans out for him.
One of the things you were talking about there was whether or not it's a minor league, a feeder for the National Football League. Specialists always have a chance. As long as there's a league for them to play in, specialists have a shot. I don't think, for example, a wide receiver is going to come out of nowhere from one of these minor leagues and suddenly he's going to become an NFL star. I don't think that's going to happen. And guys like Kurt Warner are literally once in a lifetime. We'll probably never see anything like that happen again in terms of a skill spot. But for a kicker, a punter, long snapper, return guy who can also be a third down receiver, these leagues, those are the players that I think have an opportunity maybe to get into the National Football League as a result of just having a league to play in.
Yeah.
If you're an investor, if you are an investor and you like to keep up with what other folks are doing, you want to listen to the Market Moment podcast this week, Matt and Lee are joined by Hamilton Rayner of J.P. Morgan. They're going to discuss various types of investing strategy. A lot of traditional stuff, a lot of new stuff, and just ideas. And I think if, again, you're an investor, you like keeping up, and this is probably a conversation you want to pay attention to, you can check out the latest episode of The Market Moment by heading to market-moment.com to find out more. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers. And for full disclosures, you can visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Robert, with the funny text as we close this out, there's a sentence you don't hear every day. I really want to go to Detroit. I want to stay in Detroit. But I think it being where he was playing, again, Michigan Panthers played at Ford Field in the UFL, so he didn't even have to transition.
On his path, any of the 32 would have been fine.
Yeah.
If you're a kicker, though, an indoor stadium,
that's a good point. Great point, Chuck.
Man.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Like it goes back to the question that lady asked about, hey, what's Detroit conditions? Well, we played a Bowles was
that's
like,
right.
Well,
Perfect for a kicker.
Chuck, you remember the old Texas stadium? They'd open the doors on one end depending on which way if they needed, really? They create that wind tunnel. That's and if they need a little help with a kick, they'd open the doors in the tunnel at the back of and get that wind moving through there. So that was the I don't know the original dome because the Astrodome was, but they would accuse the Cowboys of cheating a little bit there. They'd open the doors on the other end. They need to help blow the wind into the opposing.
That's just using your advantage, using your facilities to your advantage. There's nothing wrong with that. I want to share this quick quote. Have you guys ever heard of the term pancake rears? Any?
No.
Bueller?
What context?
Okay. Well, Buck Showalter, who coached a bunch of MLB franchises over the years, New York, Diamondbacks, Rangers, Orioles, Mets. I guess he's doing stuff with the MLB Network now. He was talking about scouting, what he would do in the midst of looking for who he'd potentially draft and whatnot. And he used this phrase. Just take a listen to this, because it might fall into the category of too stupid on a Too Stupid Thursday.
I watch these kids. I'm looking at other things than a lot of people look at. I'm looking at, how high is their butt?
How high is their butt?
Yeah, how are they got a full beard? You don't see a bunch of pancake rear guys playing. You don't. There's some exceptions to everything. I'm just telling you.
What?
Listen, he's been in the major leagues for quite some time. He's got more baseball knowledge in one finger than I do in my entire body. But I've never heard of the judging someone based off their size of their buttocks.
But where does the hitter get power? From the legs and the upper thigh and from that core. So I could see why somebody would want to look at that, because that's where you're going to get your strength and your speed. A pitcher is going to get his power from his legs. So yeah.
You'd be amazed. Football, basketball, baseball. I talk to these guys. You'd be amazed at what they look at.
They pay attention to.
It's all the things that you would never in a million years think they look. Which way their toes turn. I mean, which way their knees turn when they walk. I mean, they look at things that the average fan would never even notice. I'll say this about Buck Showalter. He's made a career out of evaluating talent. He's as good an everyday manager as there is in the game, and I think he's probably right. I mean, it's worked for him. Whatever his system is, it's worked for him.
Part of the what he also mentioned is he didn't initially like drafting guys with full beards because he felt like that's as mature as they were going to get physically. And I didn't think about it in that context. Like you said, Chuck, I mean, you get a benefit of hearing some of these coaches over the course of your time in broadcasting that you would be amazed. Some of these things, and that's why it's always fun to talk to an all ball coach of football, basketball, and baseball, and just kind of how they evaluate stuff, because you pick up things that you never would think of before. And apparently pancake rears is something that Coach Showalter used to look at back in the day, and he would pass on a player if they had a flat. But you made a good point. It is a lot of your hitting does come from the lower body, so that makes sense.
Generally, we just call it all gut, no butt.
All gut, no butt.
So we may have a little of that going on around here. Hey, TGI Fridays. That's where you can slide in for happy hour twice a day, 3 to 6, and then again 9 to close. Half price drinks, $5 appetizers. It's a great place to unwind the day, or really in the night at TGI Fridays. They do it Monday through Friday, again, 3 to 6 and 9 to close, half price drinks and $5 appetizers. TGI Fridays, 540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, right behind the Starbucks, the Chipotle, all that right there. You can't miss it at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith.
So when we return here on a Too Stupid Thursday, John Calipari had a chance to speak publicly twice yesterday. Going to get into more of what he said involving bigger schools, NIL, and how Arkansas maybe have a benefit over some other schools. We'll touch on that when we return on the Morning Rush.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I love listening to y'all. You're a really intelligent group of sports broadcasters.
You're listening to the Morning Run.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
The nation is going to be talking about Arkansas.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Hot summer soon gives way to fall hunting season. And with the new Arkansas Early Bow Hunt, now is the time to get your new Hoyt Alpha X or the Carbon RX-8 dialed in. Check out the new Lift compounds from Matthews, the bow that puts aluminum in a new light. Sub 4 pounds and shooting 348 feet per second. Jelco Outdoors, your full-line archery store in the River Valley. Get ready for fall bow hunting at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we can do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
One of two things would have happened if the average guy, myself included, had been hitting that shot. Either one, it wouldn't have made it out of the bunker, or I'd have hit it thin and it had gone over the clubhouse. One of those two things would have happened. For him to hit that shot in the manner in which he did, leave it below the hole, that was a perfect bunker shot in a world where perfect is overused.
I still think both may have happened. Left it in the bunker the first time, over the clubhouse on the second or third attempt out of the bunker. Speaking
possible.
I resemble that thought.
I learned my lesson playing the last time with Chuck 2 or 3 years ago. Don't talk shop in the middle of golf. Just hit your shot. Maybe say something.
That's what I
there.
blamed it on.
Yeah.
It's not the first time I've fallen apart right about the turn.
I did get a kick out of that, though.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of golf, Arkansas Golf and Power Sports put me together a great-looking easy-go golf cart, and they can do the same for you, whether you need one for your neighborhood, inside your subdivision, or the area that, hey, the kids got to get down to the pool, the tennis courts, or the community area in your neighborhood. A lot of people have golf carts for that now. Or if you live near a golf course like I do, and you need a golf cart to get back and forth, keep all your stuff together and organized, and you don't have to worry about loading and unloading your clubs, a golf cart's the way to go. I went with Easy Go for a couple of reasons. A, it's American-made. In fact, they make them in Augusta, Georgia. B, this is personal for me. They don't have that parking brake where you got to make sure you mash it down, and you're about halfway to the green. The next thing you know, you hear that cart going as it's rolling at a snail's pace. I never can get used to that. Easy Go doesn't have that kind of braking system. It stops on its own, and I know that may seem childish or minor, but I'm telling you that's a feature that was a deal breaker for me. Now they can fully customize a cart for you. You can pick the color. You can fully customize the seats with the fabrics. I had Razorbacks put in the headrest of mine. They look awesome. So and they've got street legal models as well. So whatever you're looking for, custom wheels, lights, sound systems, they offer it all, and they even come with lithium batteries that have an 8-year warranty as well. Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. That's where I went. It's where you should go. They're in Fayetteville. They're also in Little Rock. Go to the Fayetteville location and see Chris at 2733 North McConnell Avenue. That's at the Garland exit, opposite way of Sam's, right behind the rental store there. You'll find them. Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. And online, you can find them as well at arpowersports.com.
Back to our last conversation, coming from Justin in Fayetteville on the McLarty Daniel hotline, he said the old Wichita baseball coach once told us that if a kid had a full beard in high school, he had topped out, and he was not going to get any bigger.
Or the parents are in the stands screaming for birth certificates. It's the 15-year-old in the under 14-year league, the 14 and U league, that has the full beard you worry about.
That they're asking about a little bit. On the subject of baseball, Arkansas got actually 2 commitments in the last 24 hours. Georgia State shortstop Maximus Martin. That's kind of a cool name. It's along with Logan Maxfield, who just committed about 20 minutes ago, the TCU outfielder. So you got a kid from Georgia State who hit .313 this season, and then Maxfield hit .335. Chuck, one of the things I've noticed since you kind of set it out is kind of the speed of these guys. Maxfield stole 10 bases. This Maximus Martin kid stole 6, and they're also hitting above 300. Not necessarily the most power in the lineup that I'm looking at and some of the guys that they pulled in, but it seems Dave is making good on his word. They're going to get some speed on this baseball team, it sounds like.
Well, they're going for complete players. Certainly that's the appearance. And, I'm always struck by how when a season ends, everybody just thinks, well, it's over. Baseball season's over. Nothing going on. Dave really outlined in that last press conference what they were going to do. And they've gone about the business immediately of doing it. So while everybody, we're down to 2 teams now in college baseball, but while the other teams were continuing to play and while we were talking about who ought to be fired, they were out beating the bushes and doing exactly what they said they'd do. And so far, so good. It sounds like they've gotten some good players in through this portal.
Mm-hmm. Football also got a commitment yesterday by the name of Caleb Bell. He's a 3-star Georgia defensive lineman. They got one earlier this week as well, so a couple of Georgia kids thus far when it comes to baseball. So you had a couple commitments in both football and baseball this week. I wanted to touch on, and we might save it for tomorrow. John Calipari again was appearing on a couple national radio shows yesterday, and he mentioned something about the NBA and Dan Hurley that I thought was interesting. So maybe we say that for tomorrow. But I guess, guys, the big Arkansas news these next few weeks is going to solely do with recruiting. I mean, you won't have any really football news until closer to fall. Basketball and baseball. I mean, basketball's pretty much shored up its roster with the exception of the quote-unquote walk-on players. And we'll see what Dave Van Horn and Nate Thompson, Matt Hobbs do these next few weeks.
Well, this is camp month. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of camps going on. And once we get past the 4th of July, football season is going to be for the football staff is going to be rocking and rolling. I mean, it is for the most part right now even, but it's really going to kick into a different gear then. There are going to be baseball tournaments all year long. And the thing about the portal is, you know, you can bring them in the day before classes start.
Yeah.
I mean, you can literally recruit them right up until the moment they walk into class, or at least, you know, sign the papers to take the money. So there's a lot that's going to be going on. We're not going to see it, but it's going to be going on.
Yeah, I think that lineman camp that Dylan went to yesterday was the last camp, and they had the 7-on-7, and now they got a couple of weeks dead period, and I think all that stuff. And then the week of July 8th, it's on.
I want to say Cal's last basketball camp ended yesterday too, so it probably times out pretty much the same.
A couple dead weeks coming up. Hey, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Last Sunday was Father's Day, but they're celebrating dads all month long with exclusive bonus discounts this month to get dad back to what he loves to do. Camping, RVing, being out with the family, making memories. Dads love to do that kind of thing, and Wheels will help you do it with a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Grand Design, Forest River, even Brinkley Model Zs, they have those for you. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is Phil Steele, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hudson Clark with his 5th career interception.
Hi, everybody.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 8773.
I don't think a lot of you are happy about the two teams that are involved, the Texas A&M Aggies and the Tennessee Volunteers. Jim Schlossnagle's done a tremendous job in College Station, 2 College World Series appearances in 3 years, and now they're on to the finals.
On the ground, could be 2, could end the game, and it will. A&M on to the College World Series finals to take on Tennessee.
That happens starting Saturday night, and then you'll play on Sunday. And Tommy, you mentioned it being on ABC, kind of a big deal for college baseball. I can't remember a time that it was on just a traditional television channel.
The championship game has been on CBS, 20 years ago, but not the whole tournament. Now ESPN puts the whole tournament on, and now they're bringing the middle championship game to over-the-air broadcast TV. They're doing this for a reason, and it'll boost numbers. It'll boost awareness. It's good for Tennessee. It's going to be good for A&M, and I think ultimately good for college baseball in Omaha.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, why wouldn't they do it for the whole weekend? Is there TV on Saturday? I know Monday night's a big TV night, but I wonder why ABC wouldn't have it on Saturday night, too.
I don't know. Maybe the NBA Finals, if it had extended further, would have been in that slot. I don't know what else is on ABC at that point, but that'd be one of my guesses. In the midst of what's... And it's primetime Saturday night. Generally, when you look on broadcast TV outside of football season, Saturday nights are not generally where they put anything other than Tier 1 sporting events. College baseball, we love it, but it's not a Tier 1 national sports event.
Mm-hmm. Also,
Sunday's game is an afternoon game. It fits better.
Also, congratulations to Jack Caglione, who broke the all-time home run record for the Florida Gators.
3-2. Off speed, smoked. Left field. Caglione and everyone else watches another homer, and that is a new Florida all-time home run record.
Here, Carl Ravage on the call, and I mean that kid can play. Him, Condon. Well, of course, we got a chance to watch Hagen Smith each weekend, but there's some talent in SEC baseball, and there's a reason why 2 SEC teams remain in the College World Series. All right, last thing here in your SEC update. All right, I got two more things. Paul Skenes, another great start, 6 innings, only 6 hits, giving up 1 run, 96 pitches. He had 69 strikes. He has a 2.29 ERA. There's people advocating for him to make the All-Star team. We'll see if he gets selected in, I guess, the National League. Guys, before we close out our SEC update, where do you think Arkansas ranks in terms of beer cost amongst SEC teams?
So, like in the stadium, what it costs to go get a beer?
So, when you buy a beer in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, soon to be just Razorback Stadium, I guess this season it'll just be Razorback Stadium unless a sponsor gets or a big donor gets a hold of it. How much do you think you pay relative to other SEC schools?
Common sense would say you're somewhere in the middle of the pack, but you're probably getting ready to tell me we're in the top 3 or 4 in highest cost.
Top 4.
Top 4. I was going to say, I bet we're higher than you think.
So Tennessee, apparently it's $13 to buy beer in Knoxville and Neyland Stadium, which is just insane to me. But the Razorbacks are tied with the Texas A&M Aggies and the Alabama Crimson Tide for average cost of being $10, I guess. So I don't know who it actually compiled this list. I think it's College Football Report. I'm taking him at his word. But yeah, apparently they make the top 4 of the most expensive beers. And I don't think it's, we're definitely not in Alabama's echelon. Unfortunately, in the last 10 years, you haven't even been in Texas A&M or Tennessee's echelon. And yet you find yourself having to pay that amount for beer when you go to a game.
But you said an average of 10?
Yeah, and the other, like Missouri's 9, Ole Miss is, and Oklahoma soon to be an SEC opponent, $8.50. The average is $8.34 for a beer across.
But here's the thing we've also learned: not all beers are created equal. And what I mean by that is, we're talking 12 ounce, 16 ounce, 24 ounce. I mean, people, that's a $20 beer. Yeah, but it's a 24 ounce beer, which I don't prefer, particularly if you're sitting outside. You got to drink it fast to keep it from warming up. Anyway, we hear these prices and then we don't put them in the right context. Always, but
that's true. I don't know if I
just still want to know why we can't have a Coke Zero at football stadium.
I will say I have gotten.
They can get a bottle one at basketball, but last year, at least where I was in the area I sat in the stadium, the games I went, you could not get a Coke Zero.
You've got me on Coke Zero, man. I will ask for that first and foremost at most restaurants because I feel like
Diet Coke.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Bring me water. You just lost $3.
That's legitimately what I said. It's like I asked it the other night. I was at a restaurant this weekend, and I said, "Ma'am, do y'all have Coke Zero?" And she said, "No." It's like I'll just take a water.
We have Diet Coke.
I reserve my my 2 normal Cokes on Thursday night, and that's the extent of what I try and drink in soft drink stuff.
I'm telling you, I will choose one restaurant over another because Coke versus Pepsi. I mean, just there's not much in the Pepsi lineup.
I just don't.
Not my preference.
I just don't drink. I love soda.
I don't drink a lot of it anymore. I mean, I'm not going to say none, but Coke Zero is my go-to.
I think it's pretty good. I drank it for the first time, I guess, at the College World Series in 2022, thanks to your suggestion, and I have been a fan ever since.
Yep. All right, brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas for the SEC update. 3 showrooms now available, so whatever's convenient for you. Fort Smith, been doing it there for over 46 years. Springdale, and now the newest location is Greenland. If you're rolling past exit 60 there, or not 60, it's 58? Just before you get to the exit you get off for Baum Walker, you'll see those fiberglass pools up on the hill. Right behind that, little A-frame front, nice brand new building for Burton Pools and Spas. So it's a great place to stop in. Check out Doughboy Pools, above ground pools up to $1,500 off. Payments as low as $75. We're talking top quality Doughboy Pools. Semi in-ground pools, savings right now with payments under $200 a month. And you get a free robotic cleaner. It's Burton Pools and Spas for more than 46 years. You'll find them there for you. Fort Smith, Springdale, and now in Greenland, and always online at burtonpools.com.
So according to the University of Sydney, astronomers have detected a radio signal that is coming from way out in deep space basically every hour. They don't know what it means. There's not a lot of, like, when I'm reading this stuff, there's some aspect to this that I don't necessarily understand because I'm not an astronomer or anything, but I don't know what is being communicated. I do wonder, though, what is being communicated back. Like if you had an option, if you had a choice to send something out into space that maybe another life form could pick up or understand, or if you had anything to send out from a communication standpoint, what would it be? What would we have to offer as human beings for maybe a potential other race?
Stay away.
Stay. Yeah. That was where I was kind of going on this, Big C. Is like, this is our world. don't come in and invade us like we've seen in virtually every movie possible. But I just found that interesting that basically every hour we're getting a message from deep space, which honestly kind of sent a chill
So
up my
are we
spine.
sending any messages to deep space? This is the morning rush.
It didn't
Are
say.
are they hearing that somewhere in galaxies
Far, far away.
far away, light years off? This is the morning rush.
They're going to tune into something. I would hope they would tune into the Hit That Line Now app. I don't know.
They've got that out there.
I don't know if it works all the way out there. It works all over the country. I don't know how far into space it would. That would be pretty cool to see something like that you could listen to in space. But I just I think that's the proper way to look at this. I think you send out something morning rush, maybe a segment or two, maybe a promo, and hopefully we don't get invaded by space aliens down the road. Every hour we were getting a message. Has not been determined what it is, according to the University of Sydney.
So if another life form with only beautiful single women invaded our planet, do you still think you could find a date?
I got a date this weekend.
Ooh.
Do tell.
That's just the quick retort. We'll go to. I'll probably blow it up and screw it up, but it's not that. There's a difference between.
Could you find you a steady girlfriend?
Let's reframe this. There's a difference. I want to be abundantly, perfectly clear about the women in my life, which I do on a daily basis.
You are a clear and transparent communicator. There's no question.
To a detriment for a certain extent. There's a difference between like dating women, or women in the case of men dating men, and actively pursuing someone you want to spend the rest of your life with. How
about a third date?
That's the second one, technically. So we'll see if we can make it to number 3. The third date has been planned.
How
We'll
about
see if we
going
make
steady?
Just don't. I haven't necessarily met a woman.
Y'all
I
still
guess
say that? Do you kids still say that today?
Going steady.
Going steady, or
What do
y'all
you
going
get?
steady?
You get a promise ring and like you lavalier some
Yeah.
chick. Is that what y'all did back in the day? No, it's just
we what?
Lavalier.
I don't know what that
Never know
means.
what that is. Okay,
I know that's a type of microphone that we've used. A lavalier. I don't know what that means.
That's I'm probably watching some old show and I'm mispronouncing what it is. But yeah, that's happening this weekend. So we'll see if I screw that up.
Maybe
you
you'll
pull
go,
that.
Maybe
you
you
pull,
go steady.
You pulled that out of me. Yeah, going steady like like my parents used to, and like everyone listening used to back in the day. I guess that was a common phrase. I remember Zach Morris using that with Kelly.
Yeah.
So that's a great reference.
Maybe y'all
right
can
there.
hold hands.
That's pushing it. That's pushing a lot. So
all of our calls and texts came in on the McLarty Daniel hotline this morning, 877-377-6963. 6 locations, Springdale and in Bentonville. Hey, good deal is never too far away. Find them online at McLartyDaniel.com.
Let's see. Mike in Van Buren says we need to ask Big Mike in Waldron who or what should be communicated to the life forms that are apparently sending communications to us. I think Big Mike would be a great representative of not just Arkansas, not just America, but
it'd be plain facts, wouldn't it, with Big Mike? Just plain facts.
He'd just be straightforward and a straight shooter to the brunt of the conversation. Well, we appreciate everyone joining us here on a Too Stupid Thursday. Tomorrow, I think Kareem Reed is going to join us at 7. 8 o'clock, former MLB pitcher, Boston Red Sox, Jonathan Papelbon. And then we're going to talk to Rocco Miller, hopefully get a scheduling update later on in the program in your SEC update about what's going on with Arkansas basketball. I'm curious. I mean, you made some good points about kind of tying it into Chicago or St. Louis or Kansas City for maybe the benefit of going from one to Columbia.
Well, it'd be a side, but that's not why they're going to do it.
Yeah, no question about that. But I'm actually very invested to see where this game's being played. With Cal mentioning Dallas at SEC spring meetings, I tend to think that that's a pretty high possibility of that game.
Thought.
But maybe it's another marquee opponent that you play. Either way, your non-conference schedule is loaded, and you got to be excited about that. I'm pumped for this basketball season. Probably should get a basketball countdown in addition to our Bud Light football countdown, which I guess we're now 70 days out for when Arkansas takes on UAPB this upcoming season. So cannot wait for that. Well, good luck in golf tournament this weekend.
Yeah, I won't be here tomorrow. I got a 7:40 tee time. I guess they didn't have an earlier tee time available. So
you would think that they would help out.
The Craft Boys are coming to town.
Teddy, do your best to carry him as best you can.
He will have to carry me.
All right, that's been a good show. We're back tomorrow for a Football Friday.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long.